So, so we are going to discuss a NEET 2026 paper. So, first question we'll discuss. See, so this is the question. The calculate the EMF of the half cell. So EMF of the half cell. So means this question is from the electrochemistry part. So EMF of half cell calculation. It is a direct formula based question. So E of half self is equals to E naught minus 0.059 divided by N log of concentration of product power stoichiometry, reactant power to their stoichiometry. So see what reaction we have in this. Hydrogen is converted or hydrogen is changes to the HCl. So simple reaction it is H2 convert to the 2H positive and give 2 electrons. So N value is given here 2. So concentration of HCl is also given. So concentration of product is 0.02 molar. In the reactant we have hydrogen. For this pressure is given, that is 2 atm pressure. So simply we can put this into the formula. So E naught value for hydrogen, we know that is equals to 0. So 0 minus 0.059 N value 2. So log of concentration is given 0.02. So simply I can write down 10 into 10 raised to power minus 2. Stoichiometry 2, power 2. Reactant, there is a hydrogen gas, pressure is given 2. So simple basic mathematical calculations. So 0 minus 0.059 divided by 2 log of this 2 and 2 cancel. So you are left with 2 into 10 raised to power minus 4. So how to solve the log value? So to solve the log value, it's minus 0.059 divided by 2 log A into B. So this is log 2 plus log of 10 raised to power minus 4. So log 2 value, it is already mentioned 0.3. So 0.3 plus it will be minus 4. So answers, if it is a 0.059 divided by 2, if you subtract this, so you will get 3.7. So it is minus 0.059 divided by 2 minus 3.7. If you multiply this or if you divide this first, it will be 18.5 something. If you multiply this, so you will get exactly answer 2. I know that this is minus, it will be converted into the positive. So simple question it is. So another question. Okay, in this question add 298 Kelvin a certain buffer solution. So simple, this question from the buffer solution. Buffer solution means from the ionic equilibrium chapter. In buffer solution, okay, what is buffer solution? Contain equal concentration of H negative and HX. Kb value it is given here. So Kb value is 10 raised to power minus 10. So what is the pH? So okay, it is again direct formula based question. So pH of buffer solution, how to calculate? pH will be equals to pKa plus log of concentration of conjugate base or salt divided by concentration of acid. Okay, so equal moles of this H negative and HS, equal mole given. Any number you can consider here. Okay, Kb value is given, but we need the pKa value. Okay, so Kb it is equals to 10 raised to power minus 10. We can able to find out pKb. I know the formula, minus of log of Kb, that will be equals to 10. So how to calculate? If you have pKb value, you can calculate pKa. I know that pKa is equals to 14 minus pKb value, that is 14 minus 10, that is equals to 4. So pH will be equals to 4 plus log of, this is the same value, any number you can consider 1 by 1. So log 1 is equals to 0. So pH value comes out to be 4. So answer our option 4 is a correct. Another question. Okay, given below there are certain reaction. Identify the reaction for which pK is not equal to Kc. Again, it is a simple formula based question. We know the relationship between pK, Kp is equals to, Kp is equals to Kc, RT power delta Ng. So what is delta Ng? So delta Ng is nothing but number of gaseous product minus number of gaseous reactant. You can see in this reaction, in the product side, how many gaseous molecules are there? 2. In this reactant side, 1 and 1, 2. So 2 minus 2 will be equals to 0. In this case, 1 and 1 means in product side 2, reactant side 1 and 1. So 2 minus 2 will be equals to 0. In this case, product side 2, in the reactant side 1 and 3, that is 4 will be equals to minus 2. In this case, 2 minus 1 and 1, 2 will be equals to 0. So only there is a third option in which number of moles are product side and reactant side are not equal. So simple, our answer will be option number 3rd. So question number next. Okay, again this is a question for a certain reaction, the reactant change to the product. The plot of concentration R versus time. Okay, this question is from the chemical kinetics. So this is from the chemical kinetics. So simply I can look at the graph, I can say answer it is a zero order reaction. Okay, but still I can explain this in detail. I know that the rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration to the order of the reaction. Okay, I know that rate is nothing but minus of dr by dt. If I remove directly proportional sign, so rate constant a power n. If I am assuming n is equals to 0, that is equals to minus dr by dt will be equals to k. So let me remove this negative sign from here. So it is dr will be equals to minus k dt. If you integrate this from both sides, initial concentration of R, I am assuming R0, final R at time t0 to time t. So its integration will be R minus R0 will be equals to minus kt. So R will be equals to R0 minus kt. So you can see this. This is a line equation. Y is equals to C plus mx. So if you have to plot R versus t, so this is a plot of R versus t. So what is the slope here? Minus k. What is the intercept here? R0. So this is a zero order reaction. Next. So consider the following reaction. 2A of gas and B of gas give 2D of gas. Okay, internal energy value is given. So delta U. So delta U internal energy that is given minus of 10 kilojoules per mole. Okay, so delta S entropy value is given. Delta S is equals to minus 44 joules per Kelvin. So delta G value we have to calculate. So delta G, again we know that direct formula base only, it is delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S. Delta S value is given. Temperature is also given 298 Kelvin. Okay, delta H is not given, so we can calculate delta H. I know that delta H is equals to internal energy plus delta Ng RT. So internal energy it is already given here, minus 10 kilojoules per moles. What is the delta Ng value? How many number of moles are there in the gas in the product side? 2. In the reactant side 2 and 1, 3. So what will be the value? Minus 1. So delta Ng value is minus 1. R value it is given already, but keep into mind the R value given into the joules, internal energy given into the kilojoules. So we have to compare the units. So it is 8.3 divided by 1000. So it can be converted into kilojoules. Temperature given 298. So calculate this. Okay, let me assume this is a 300. So 8 into 8.3 into 300 will be equals to 924. So double zeros cancel, divided by 10. So minus 10 plus. So what will be? It will be equals to, okay, this is a negative sign here. So minus minus will be positive. So it comes out to be the minus 12.49. So this is a minus 12.49. That is in kilojoules per moles. Kilojoule per moles. Now we have to put the value of delta H into this. So delta H value comes out to be minus 12.49. So temperature value given 298. So delta S value is already given minus 44. But this is into the joules per Kelvin. This answer is in kilojoules. So again we have to divide it by 1000. So how you can multiply? Simply I can multiply it this way. This is a minus 12.49 minus. Okay, this minus and minus become positive. This simple mathematical calculation only. So 298 I can consider 300 minus 2 into 44. So it is nothing but 13200 minus 88 divided by 1000. So this comes out to be 13112. So 13.11. So this is minus. So plus 13.11 minus 12. So minus 12.49. So this comes out to be. So if you subtract this, you will get, so 6, so 11 minus 2, so 0.62. Which option it is? So this is a positive answer. So this is a near to this answer, 0.63568 kilojoules. And I know that if delta G value is greater than 0, so your process will be non-spontaneous. If delta G value negative, it will be the spontaneous. So option 1 will be the correct answer. So next question. Okay, again this is a simple formula based question. Given below the expression for the rate constant, given below, rate constant means, again this is a chemical kinetic question. So first order reaction assuming the certain temperature. This is direct Arrhenius equation. So what is Arrhenius equation? K is equals to A exponent of EA by RT. If you take log natural on both sides, ln K will be equals to ln A exponent of power EA by RT. So this is ln A plus minus EA by RT. So ln A minus EA by RT. So ln A value given. Okay. ln A is equals to this one, 14.34. So this full term, okay, this is a T here, this is a T here, means EA by R is equals to 1.25 into 10 raised to power 4. So R value it is given. R value already given 1.287 calories per mole. Okay, but they demand answer in the kilocalories per mole. So what we need to do? So EA is equals to 1.25 into 10 raised to power 4 into, this is, I can assume approximately it is 2 calories per mole. I have to convert into the kilocalorie, divided by 1000. 3 zeros, 4 cancel. So 12.5 multiplied by 2. So it is approximately 24 point something. So option number 4 is correct. Now the next question. Identify the correct statement about CF3 from the following option. So this is a geometry of molecule you have to tell. So this is a chemical bonding. In the chemical bonding, how to calculate geometry? This is a ClF3 simple formula. you have to calculate steric number, that is equals to Q plus R by 2, where Q is nothing but number of sigma bond, where R is number of non-bonded electron. So how many sigma bond and non-bonded electron, how we come to know? I know that chlorine, how many valence electron chlorine have? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If 3 fluorines are attached, so 3 sigma bond, so Sn will be equals to 3 plus how many non-bonded electron? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 by 2. So that is equals to 5. Steric number 5 means it is a trigonal bipyramidal geometry. So how we used to write down? This is a chlorine. This is a trigonal bipyramidal. It has 2 lone pair. So lone pair, we know that lone pair will be always in the equatorial position. 1 fluorine here, 1 fluorine here, 1 fluorine here. So what is the shape? So shape, during the shape we know that we have to ignore lone pairs of electron. So shape will be the T shape. T shape. Okay, this option ignore. It is a trigonal. It has trigonal pyramidal. So it is not trigonal pyramidal. It is a trigonal bipyramidal. Option wrong. T shape with the 2 lone pair of electron. 2 lone pair of electrons. So option 2 will be the correct. It is 3 lone pair of electron. Option wrong. Planar trigonal, wrong. So simple question it is from chemical bonding. Another question, at a certain temperature T, during the process 500 joules absorbed by the system and work of 200 joule done by the system. Okay, so you have to calculate change in internal energy. Very simple question. This is again from the thermodynamics. From thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, internal energy will be equals to heat supply to the system and work done on the system. And I know that always if this is my system, heat supply to the system is always positive, heat go out of the system always negative, work done by the system negative, work done on the system positive. So it is given work done by the system means work done it is negative value. So work done it is given minus 200 Q. Heat absorb means positive 500. So internal energy will be equals to, so here internal energy will be equals to 500 minus 200 will be equals to 300 joules. So option 3 is the correct. So simple formula based questions are there. Next question. When 1 decimeter cube of CO2 gas is passed over the hot coke, the volume of gaseous mixture after complete the reaction at STP become 1.4 decimeter. Okay, so 1.4 decimeter cube. The composition of gaseous mixture you have to calculate thus carbon monoxide and CO2. Okay, how to solve this question? Again, it is a ionic or equilibrium, chemical equilibrium from the equilibrium chapter. In this case, okay, there is a coke, you have passed CO2 gas. So if you pass CO2 gas, what it will give? Carbon monoxide. So in this case, what is how many carbon monoxide volume it is given? 1 decimeter cube, or answer is also in decimeter cube. So no need to worry about the units. So if at time 0, you have 1 decimeter cube of CO2 volume, carbon monoxide will be 0. How to do this? After mixing, if I can say X volume form, whatever stoichiometry we have to put here, how much CO2 left? This is 1 minus X. So after mixing, total volume is also given. So if V total is given, so V total is equals to 1 minus X plus 2X, its value given 1.4. 1.4 is equals to 1 minus X plus 2X means 1 plus X, 1.4. What is the value of X? So X will comes out to be 0.4. So you have to tell the carbon monoxide. So X value is 0.4. So carbon monoxide is 2 into 0.4 will be equals to 0.8. So this one minus 0.4 will be equals to 0.6. Let's see my options. So carbon monoxide it is a 8 and carbon dioxide is a 0.6. So option number 4 is the correct answer. Same way. Okay, again this is a chemical bonding, simple question. Chemical bonding, see this. You have to tell formal charge. What is the formula of formal charge? Formal charge formula is total valence electron minus number of non-bonded electron minus bonded electrons divided by 2. So you have to tell respectively 2, 1 and 3. So this is 2, this is 1 and 3. So let me check for 2. In the carbon number 2, okay, for 2, oxygen, sir. Oxygen 2, total valence electron in oxygen 6, non-bonded electron 1, 2, 3, 4 minus bonded electron 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 by 2, that is 2. So this is minus 4 minus 2, 6 will be equals to 0. So add 2 it is a 0, add 2 it is a 0, this option gone. So okay, let me check for the carbon oxygen number 1. So total valence electron will be 6, non-bonded electron 1 and 2, bonded electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 divided by 2, 3. So 6 minus 5 will be equals to 1. So this is a 1, this is 0, this is gone. So this option is correct. No need to check for the third one also. Clear? So next question. Okay. Again, this is the chemical kinetics. So chemical kinetics, order of reaction. So first thing you have to remember the units. The formula of the units of rate constant. If you do not know, you can calculate this. I know that rate is directly proportional to concentration of A power n, or this rate is nothing but, so here rate we know that this is change in concentration of reactant by change in temperature or change in time. That is equals to directly proportional sign if we remove, that is a rate constant. Concentration power n, n is nothing but, n is the order of reaction. What are the unit of this? This is mole per liter. Second, mole per liter per second. That is equals to K. The unit of concentration, mole per liter power n. So what is the unit of K? Moles per liter divided by mole per liter power n into S. So simply I can write down this is nothing but moles per liter power 1 minus n. Second inverse will be equals to K. Okay. So if it is a, let me check B. If it is a first order reaction, means n value is equals to 1. If n value equals to 1, so 1 minus 1, 0, anything power 0 will be equals to 1 only, means K value for first order, n is equals to 1, then K value will be equals to second inverse. So first order, so B is 3, B3, B3, B2, B2, these options cancel. So only two options are there, no need to check option number A. Both case 4 and 4, we'll check C. C is the second order reaction. Put the value of n equals to 2. So this is moles per liter 1 minus 2. Second inverse will be equals to K. So it will be moles per liter minus 1. Second inverse will be equals to K. So this is mole inverse liter. Second inverse K. So which option is correct? Means for second it is 1. So option number 2 is correct. Option number 1 is wrong. Okay. Another question. So again very simple question. Mole concept. This is a mole concept. So number of hydrogen atom present in the 5.4 gram of urea. Okay, first you may know that what is the formula of urea. You know formula of urea? NH2 C double bond O NH2. Its weight given. Weight it is given. So number of moles you can calculate. So number of moles will be equals to, what is the formula? Given mass by molecular weight. Mass given 5.4, molecular weight is also given, that is 60. Number of moles of urea. This is a number of moles of urea. But the question they ask, number of hydrogen atom. So how many hydrogen atoms in one molecule of urea? 4. If it is a this much number of moles, simple I can say, in 1 mole of urea, how many moles of hydrogen? 4. So simple I can say number of moles of hydrogen will be equals to 5.4 by 60 into 4. Number of atom I have to calculate. I know that 1 mole is equals to 6.022 into 10 raised power 23 atoms. Means in 1 mole I have 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 atom. So number of atom will be equals to, so number of atom will be equals to 5.4 divided by 60 into 4 into 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. Okay, solve this. This is assume 6, this is a 10. So 5.4 into 4. 6, 21 divided by 10 into 10 raised to power 23. So I can write it down as a 2.16 into 10 raised to power 23. So which option is correct? Option number 2 is the correct answer. Okay, next question. In the qualitative analysis, B13 is detected by the appearance of precipitate of BiOOH solid. Okay, this is a solid. Calculate the pH when the following equilibrium is exist. So okay, this K value it is given. Let me write down first the equation. So BiOOH, that is in the equilibrium with BiO positive. This is aqueous, this is the solid, plus OH negative. This is aqueous. Okay, so K, this is a K means for solid. I know that this is a KSP it is given. So KSP is equals to 4 into 10 raised power minus 10. Okay, we can assume this way. If initially its solubility is S and this one will be 0, this is 0. So after the equilibrium, this will be S and S. So KSP value will be what? Or simple formula also we know that KSP formula is X power X, Y power Y, S power X plus Y. So 1 cation, 1 anion, so X value 1 and Y value is also 1. So KSP will be equals to S power 2. So S will be equals to KSP root 2. So KSP value is given already. So S will be equals to root of 4 into 10 raised power minus 10. So this will be equals to 2 into 10 raised power minus 5. Means S value you got 2 into 10 raised power minus 5. Means here you got the OH negative value 2 into 10 raised to power minus 5. From OH negative value, can you calculate POH? So POH formula is nothing but simple OH. So this is minus of log of 2 into 10 raised power minus 5. So log, this is log 2 plus log 10 raised power minus 5. So log 10 raised power minus 5. Okay, let me take here 10 raised power minus 5. So log 2 value given already, minus 0.3 plus this will be equals to this. Okay, let me write down here. So here POH value comes out to be, so POH value comes out to be minus of 0.3. This is minus 5, it will be minus 5 here. So that is equals to minus and minus plus. So it is comes out to be the 4.7. So you calculate POH. I know that pH will be equals to 14 minus POH. This is a 14 minus 4.7. So what will be the answer? 9.3. So option 4 is the correct answer. So next question. In this question, what it is given? Bulb is rated at 150 watt. This is 150 watt means power it is given 150 watt and its efficiency is 8% only. So I can simply say 150 into 8 divided by 100, that is equals to 15 into 8. 120, 0 and 0 cancel, divided by 10, that is equals to 12 joules of power. So energy of one photon is given means h nu value it is given 4.42 into 10 raised power minus 19. How many photons are emitted? I know the formula of energy. E is equals to NH nu. And I also know the energy is equals to power into time. They are asking to calculate how many photons are emitted bulb per second, means time is equals to 1 second. Energy equals to PT will be equals to NH nu. This is 12 into 1, that is equals to N into 4.4 into 10 raised to power minus 19. If you solve mathematical portion, N will be equals to 12 divided by 4.4 into 10 raised power minus 19. So this is a 3, approximately 3. So 3 into 10 raised power 19. So your nearby answer it is 2.7 only, because I know that this is a 4.4. If you do exactly, so you will exactly get 2.7. So option 4 will be the correct answer. So next question, identify the correct statement. Okay, identify the correct statement. Molality ethanoic acid and 75 gram of benzene solution it is given. Okay, this question, okay, this is a mole fraction. This question from the chapter name solution. So if I see the option number C, aquatic species are more comfortable in the cold water. Yes, I know that, because I know that if I increase the temperature, solubility of gas will be decrease. So at the hot water, so dissolved oxygen in the water will be less. So it will be very difficult for the aquatic species to survive. So they more comfortably survive in the cold water. So option C is the correct answer. So option C. Okay. In the option 4, C is there. Option 1, C is there. Option 3, C is not there. Option 2, C is not there. So simply eliminate this. Option A in both. No need to check. So need to check option number B. So option number B, the molality of solution containing 5 gram of NaOH, 40 molecular weight. Okay, simple molality. What is the molality formula? So molarity formula is weight of solute by molecular weight into volume in liter. So weight it is given 5 gram. Molecular weight is 40. So volume in liter. So it is given in ml. So 450 into 1000. How you can simply divide this? 0, 0 cancel, 0, 0 cancel. 55 or 945. 4 into 9, 36. So it is 10 divided by 36. So 10 divided by 36, if you do the calculation, you can multiply by 10 divided by 10. So 100 divided by 36 will be equals to 272. This is 8, 2. So decimal 0, 36 into 7 will be 252. So it is, so it will be approximately 2.7 divided by 10. So it is 0.27. So this is also a correct answer. So our option number 1 is correct. In this case, B does not mention. So next question. A solution of copper sulfate is electrolyzed for 10 minutes with the current 1.5 ampere. So mass of copper deposited at the cathode. So mass of, okay, this is again electrochemistry. Simple question. Formula based question. I know that second law of Faraday's. Faraday's second law, weight is directly proportional to the charge. If I remove directly proportional sign Z, so I know that Z is nothing but equivalent weight divided by Faraday. So W is equals to equivalent weight divided by Faraday's. Okay, charge is nothing but I into T. So 1 Faraday's value 96500 coulomb. Equivalent weight, how to calculate? Molecular weight divided by n factor. Molecular weight, it is given 63. What is n factor? So there is a mass of copper. So mass of copper. So copper sulfate FeSO4. So means n factor will be equals to 2. So 63 divided by 2. So W is equals to 63 divided by 2 into F value 96500. I value, it is given, I think 1.5 ampere. 1.5 time given 10 minutes. So it is a 10 minutes into seconds you can convert. So 1.5 and so this is a simply you can cancel. You can cancel. This is 63 divided by 2 will be equals to 31. This is 31.5. Or this is 1 0, this 0 cancel, this decimal with 10 cancel, 15 into 6. So 15 into 6 is equals to 90. Okay, so if it is a 90, I can assume this is a 19 only. So it is a 1 0, this is 1. Assume this, round off this number. So this is also cancel. What answer you will get? So you will get approximately 0.31. So which is nearest to the 0.29. If you do exact calculation, you will get 0.29. But we know that we have 1 minute to solve one question. So you have to do round off only. So next question here. Okay, this is a simple question. So for this is again atomic structure. Atomic structure chapter, L value. So given L value, for L value 1. So what is the subshell for L1? Or for 0 it is S. For 1 it is P. For 2 it is D. For 3 it is F. Okay. This is 2P. 2P means A2. A2, A2. A1, A1 cancel. Next 4S. 4S means B3. B3, okay, B3, both case B3 only. So C, 5F. So 5F means C, 4. So option number 1 is correct. This is wrong. Another question. So phenolphthalein is used as indicator for the titration of the sodium hydroxide solution against the standard solution of oxalic acid. The color change is observed in the alkaline pH is close to equivalence point. So titration, how we used to do titrations? We know that if we have some conical flask here, in this we used to put acid. Here it is a burette. In burette we will fill base. Okay, along with acid we have to add indicator here. Which indicator we use? Indicator they use is phenolphthalein. If you use phenolphthalein, I know that phenolphthalein in the acid is colorless. So when you keep putting on the base into this end point, you will reach. So I know that phenolphthalein in the base, it will give the pink color. So it will be changed from the colorless to pink. So option 3 will be the correct answer. Next, calculate the spin only magnetic moment of the Ti2 positive. So 3D2 it is given. So simple formula. Spin magnetic moment formula, it is root of n plus 2 Bohr magneton. So D2 means, I know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 electrons, n value will be equals to 2. So root of 2 plus 2. So this is 2 into 4. So root of 2 into root of 4, that is 2. Root of 2 is 1.41. So that comes out to be 2.82 answer. Nearby 2.8 will be the answer. So I think, so this is majorly in this year NEET exam, total 17 to 18 questions was from the physical chemistry. So all these questions are easy questions are there. So All the best for your results. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Champaka from Sarat Chandra NEET and IIT Academy. So today we will discuss NEET 2026 paper, and I will discuss few questions of chemistry paper. So let us start with, let us discuss 46th question. In this, so list 1 and list 2 are given. So in list 1, complex ion and their shapes are given in list 2. So first complex is PtCl2 NH3 twice, and it is 4 coordinated complex. 4 coordinated complex means, so it exists as all platinum complexes, they are square planar complexes. So this PtCl2 NH3 twice, this is a square planar complex. And next comes to CONH3 6 times Cl3, it is an octahedral complex. So 6 coordinated complex means octahedral complex. Whether it is inner orbital or outer orbital complex, it is octahedral. And NiCl4 2 minus, nickel plus 2 complexes, they may be square planar or tetrahedral complexes. It depends upon hybridization of the central metal. So Cl minus, it is weak field ligand, therefore Ni nickel, it is in sp3 hybridization. If it is in sp3 hybridization, so that is a tetrahedral complex. And FeCO5, it is 5 coordinated complex. So hybridization of central atom is, so dsp3 or sp3d. So shape is trigonal bipyramidal. So the correct answer, the correct key for this question is third one. So it is square planar complex, this is octahedral complex, and it is tetrahedral, and this is trigonal bipyramidal complex. Next, 53 questions. Select the reagents that reduce nitriles to primary amines. So the reducing agents given are lithium aluminum hydride followed by hydrolysis, and tin and HCl, hydrogen and nickel catalytic hydrogenation, and sodium amalgam ethanol, so Br2 aqueous NaOH. Out of these 5 reducing agents, the reducing agents which reduce nitriles to primary amines, that means cyanides to primary amines, the correct reducing agents are, so lithium aluminum hydride followed by hydrolysis, and hydrogen nickel catalyst, and sodium amalgam ethanol. Tin and HCl, so this is used for the reduction of nitriles to aldehydes. So aldehydes, nitriles are reduced to aldehydes, that reaction it is known as Stephan reduction. But nitriles, they are not reduced to primary amines with this reducing agent, and it is the reagent for Hoffman bromamide degradation. So the correct reducing agents for the conversion of nitriles to primary amines are, so A and C and D only. Therefore, correct option is third one. Next, the correct statement with regard to the secondary structure of DNA or RNA is. So first option is DNA possesses a double strand helix structure and contains thymine as one of the 4 bases. So DNA is a double stranded helix structure, and it contains purine bases as adenine and guanine, and pyrimidine bases are cytosine, so adenine, guanine, and thymine, cytosine. So ATGC. So in DNA, the base pairs are adenine, thymine, and guanine, cytosine. And it is a double strand helix structure. And coming to RNA, RNA is a single strand helix structure. And in RNA, the base pairs are AU and GC. So adenine and uracil, guanine and cytosine. So DNA possesses a single strand helix structure. It is wrong statement. And RNA possesses a double strand helix structure. It is also wrong. RNA possesses a single strand helix structure, and contains thymine as one of the 4 bases. But in RNA, thymine is absent, uracil is present. Therefore, the correct statement is first one. DNA possesses a double strand helix structure and contains thymine as one of the 4 bases. Next, during Lassen's test, the elements present in an organic compound are converted from ionic form to ionic form, or covalent form to ionic form to covalent form, or covalent form to covalent form. So, in Lassen's test, we will convert the elements which are present in organic compounds into ionic form. So, originally they are present in covalent state, and we will convert the elements from covalent bond to ionic bond by fusing with sodium metal. So, the elements like halogen, sulfur, for example, in organic compound, if halogens are present, halogen is present, that halogen reacts with sodium metal and forms sodium halides. If sulfur is present, that combines with sodium metal, again forms sodium sulfide. Similarly, if nitrogen is present, it combines with sodium metal and forms sodium cyanide. So, these are ionic compounds. Sodium chloride or sodium sulfide or sodium cyanide, these are ionic compounds. So, why we are converting them into ionic compounds means ionic compounds, they are more reactive. So, we can easily identify these elements when we convert them into ionic compounds. Whereas, if they are attached to carbon in organic compounds, they are present in covalent state. That covalent bond, it is a strong bond and we can not easily identify those elements. So, correct option is, so covalent form to ionic form. So, option is second one. Next, mixture of chloroform and acetone forms a solution with a negative deviation from Raoult's law due to. So, when we take liquids, chloroform and acetone, so this chloroform and acetone, they form this is chloroform and acetone. So, between these two, there is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So, hydrogen of chloroform and oxygen of acetone, it forms hydrogen bond. So, due to this hydrogen bond formation between these two liquids, so the intermolecular force of attraction between these two liquids, it is stronger when compared to the pure components. The intermolecular force of attraction between any two acetone molecules or between any two chloroform molecules, the intermolecular force of attraction, that is less compared to chloroform and acetone molecules. So, due to this strong intermolecular force of attraction between these two molecules, so the tendency to vaporize, the tendency to escaping into vapor form, that is reduced. Therefore, this liquid mixture, it shows negative deviation from Raoult's law. So, the expected vapor pressure or the experimental vapor pressure of this liquid mixture, that is less than the calculated by Raoult's law. So, this shows a negative deviation from Raoult's law. What is the reason for negative deviation? That means stronger intermolecular forces between chloroform molecules than those between chloroform and acetone molecules, are formation of hydrogen bonding between acetone and chloroform, are repulsive forces, or increase in escaping tendency of molecules of each component. So, the strong intermolecular force is due to formation of hydrogen bonding between acetone and chloroform. So, this is the correct reason why these two liquid mixture, this two liquid mixture, it is showing negative deviation. So option 2 is correct one. Next one, 57th question. So in this, in a test tube containing a salt, a few drops of dilute H2SO4 was added, which gave colorless vapors having the smell of vinegar. So the vapors turn the blue litmus paper red. That means, so the colorless vapors which give vinegar smell. Vinegar smell, it is the characteristic of acetic acid. Vinegar means acetum means acetic acid. So when a salt, it is treated with dilute sulfuric acid. So which salt or which anion, when that is treated with dilute sulfuric acid, that gives vinegar smell means, so carbonate, it is not able to give a vinegar smell because it is treated with dilute acid, it gives carbon dioxide gas. And when sulfide ion, it is treated with acid, it gives H2S gas. Whereas acetate ion, when it is treated with dilute sulfuric acid, it forms acetic acid. So that acetic acid, it gives the characteristic smell of vinegar. So correct option is acetate ion, and this, after reacting with dilute sulfuric acid, it is forming acetic acid. So that acetic acid, it turns blue litmus paper into a red color. So therefore correct option is third one, acetate ion. Next, match list 1 with list 2. So list 1 contains some complexes and list 2, their isomerism, type of isomerism is given in list 2. So coming to the first complex in list 1, PTNH3 twice Cl2, it is a square planar complex. So in square planar complex, only possibility is geometrical isomerism. There is no optical isomerism in square planar complexes. So PTNH3 twice Cl2, NH3 twice Cl2. So this complex, it is in the form of Ma2B2. So how many geometrical isomers are possible? So there are 2 possible geometrical isomers. So if we write permutations and combinations, we are able to write 2 different combinations. So one is A opposite A and B opposite B, other is A opposite B and A opposite B. So total geometrical isomers, so we are able to write 2 different combinations, 2 different structures. So that means geometrical isomers are 2. And coming to the second complex, COEN thrice, it is an octahedral complex. So in this octahedral complex, so there are 3 bidentate ligands, ethylene diamine ligands, COEN thrice. This is one bidentate ligand. Bidentate ligand, any bidentate ligand that is linked through 90 degrees only, but not through 180 degrees. So this complex, it is only it is able to exist in one geometrical isomer. No other possibility is there for this complex. So only one GI, only this structure. So no other possible structure we are not able to write. Therefore no geometrical isomerism in this complex. And coming to optical isomerism, in this complex, there is no plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry is absent, plane of symmetry absent. If plane of symmetry is absent, this complex, it is able to show, so it shows optical isomerism. If it is showing optical isomerism means it exists in 2 mirror images. One is this one, other is, this is original molecule, other one is its mirror image. Cobalt, it is present in +3 state. So mirror image of this complex is so these 2 are non-superimposable mirror images. So they are known as enantiomers. So second complex, it shows only optical isomerism. And coming to third one, CONH35NO2 and Cl2. In this one ambident ligand is present. There are two donor atoms possible for NO2 minus. So this shows linkage isomerism. So if it can coordinate with oxygen, it can form one complex, and if it is able to coordinate with nitrogen, it can form other complex. So this complex shows linkage isomerism. And coming to the last complex, CrH2O6Cl3. So there are 6 water aqua ligands in the coordination sphere, and outside the coordination sphere there are 3 chloride ions. And if one chloride ion enters into coordination sphere and one water molecule, so that is acting as ligand, if that is coming out of the coordination sphere, so then it is able to show hydrate isomerism or solvate isomerism. So a solvate isomerism is that isomerism in which water molecules acts as ligands, and the two isomers, they differ in the number of H2O ligands inside and outside the coordination sphere. So therefore the last complex shows solvate isomerism, and first one shows geometrical isomerism, second one optical isomerism, and third one is linkage isomerism. So correct option is third one. The number of chlorine atoms present in the organic products X and Y of the following reactions respectively are. So this is the reaction of benzene with chlorine. So for coming to first reaction, in the first reaction chlorine reacts with benzene. 6 moles of chlorine are given in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3 in dark and cold condition. So this reagent, it explains or it gives the indication that this reaction is example for electrophilic substitution. So electrophilic substitution means in benzene, the H plus of benzene, it is replaced by electrophile Cl plus. So here 6 H plus ions of benzene, they are replaced by 6 Cl plus. Therefore the complex X is, so the compound X is only D substitution reaction. Hydrogen of benzene, it is replaced by Cl plus. H plus of benzene, they are replaced by Cl plus. So the molecular formula of this compound is C6Cl6. All 6 hydrogens, they are replaced by Cl plus. So and byproduct is 6 mole of HCl. And coming to the next reaction. So in this chlorine, it is treated with benzene in the presence of ultraviolet rays and 500 Kelvin temperature. That means under hot condition. So this is example for free radical addition reaction. So in this only addition of chlorine radicals takes place to benzene ring. So the compound is, the product what we get in this reaction is, in the second reaction, it is addition reaction. So C6H6Cl6. So this is gamexen. The other name for this compound is gamexen, or benzene hexachloride, BHC. It is also known as BHC, benzene hexachloride. So the number of chlorine atoms present in the organic products X and Y of the following reactions respectively are. In the first compound, in compound X, how many chlorine atoms are present means there are 6 chlorine atoms, and in the second also there are 6 chlorine atoms. So overall how many? 6 chlorine atoms means 6 and 6. Correct option is second one. So in this first also, so 6, but it is substitution reaction. First one is substitution reaction, second one is addition reaction. #61. Identify the incorrect statement from the following. Phosphorus, arsenic and antimony show catenation capacity. So is it right? Yes, it is right. Because phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, they are able to show catenation property. They are able to link. So one phosphorus atom, it is linked to other number of phosphorus atoms. And the second statement, so triethyl phosphine and triphenyl arsine form d-pi bond with the transition metals. Yes, so they are able to form p-pi d-pi bonds. So these central metals, metal, arsenic and phosphorus also, it is non-metal, they are able to form d-pi bonds with the transition metals. So nitrogen can form d-pi p-pi bond with oxygen, but nitrogen is not able to form, nitrogen as well as oxygen, they are not able to form p-pi d-pi p-pi bonds. They are only form p-pi bonds because in the valency shell of nitrogen and oxygen there are no d orbitals. And nitrogen can form p-pi multiple bonds with itself. Yes, nitrogen can form p-pi multiple bonds, but it is not able to form p-pi d-pi multiple bonds. Therefore, so wrong statement or incorrect statement is, so third option. Nitrogen can form d-pi p-pi bonds, but it is not able to form d-pi and p-pi bonds. Next is 63. Compound P C8H8O gives a red-orange precipitate with 2,4 DNP, 2,4-DNP reagent, and it does not reduce Fehling's reagent. On drastic oxidation with chromic acid, P gives an aromatic product Q that produces effervescence on treating with aqueous sodium bicarbonate. Compound P and Q respectively are. So compound P with molecular formula C8H8O, so gives a red-orange precipitate with 2,4 DNP. So what are the compounds that are able to give orange-red precipitate with 2,4 DNP? Both aldehydes and ketones, they are able to give red-orange precipitate with 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine. So in the given examples, so in the first statement, first option, the compound is aromatic aldehyde, and in the second one, first compound P is aromatic ketone, so acetophenone, and the third one, that is again aromatic aldehyde, and fourth one aromatic ketone. Therefore, with Fehling's reagent is, again it composed of two reagents, Fehling's A and Fehling's B. Fehling's A is, so aqueous copper sulfate solution, and Fehling's B is sodium potassium tartrate solution. When we mix these two in 1:1 ratio, we get Fehling's reagent. So Fehling's reagent, by using Fehling's reagent, we are able to differentiate aldehydes and ketones. So aldehydes, they reduce Fehling's reagent, but ketones, they are not able to reduce Fehling's reagent. And coming to aldehydes also, in aldehydes, only aliphatic aldehydes, they are able to reduce Fehling's reagent, but not aromatic aldehydes. So this aromatic aldehyde as well as ketone, both are, they are not able to reduce Fehling's reagent. So next we will go to next Q, aromatic product Q. So coming to aromatic product Q, so it was mentioned that the compound Q that produces effervescences with aqueous sodium bicarbonate. What are the organic compounds? They are able to produce effervescences with sodium bicarbonate. So carboxylic acids, they are able to produce effervescence with sodium bicarbonate. Because acids are stronger, so they can only produce carbon dioxide from sodium metal bicarbonate. So if organic acid is there, that is able to produce carbon dioxide from sodium bicarbonate. So in the first option, so organic acid is there, so bicarboxylic, 2 carboxylic acids, so terthalic acid is there, COOH group, it is able to produce carbon dioxide with sodium bicarbonate, as well as in the second option also, benzoic acid, that is able to produce effervescences with sodium bicarbonate. That means that is able to produce carbon dioxide with sodium bicarbonate. So both option 1 and option 2, they seems to be correct because with 2,4-DNP, so this in the first option, this aldehyde, it is giving negative test, as well as this ketone also, estophenone also gives negative test. And the compound Q, in both the options, it is able to produce effervescences with carbon dioxide, sodium bicarbonate. Effervescences of carbon dioxide are produced with sodium bicarbonate. Next one. The correct IUPAC name of the following compounds is, very easy question from IUPAC nomenclature. And in this compound, the numbering is given from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon chain. Longest carbon chain first it is selected, and next coming to numbering from left to right or from right to left. So substituents are present from left to right. If numbering is given, substituent is presented 3rd carbon and 5th carbon, and from right to left if we give numbering, again on 3rd carbon there is one substituent and on 5th carbon there is another substituent. But lowest sum rule it is following from either side, same lowest sum rule from both sides. Then priority is given to alphabetical order. So if we give numbering from left to right, so least numbering is given to carbon containing ethyl group, and next 5th carbon, it contains CH3 group. So ethyl comes out first in alphabetical order. Therefore correct numbering is from left to right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the correct IUPAC name is 3-ethyl 5-methyl heptane. So correct, first option is correct one. Next is 65. In the following reaction sequence, X and Z respectively are. So propyl alcohol, it reacts with PCl5, gives CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl plus X plus HCl. So what is X in this reaction? When any alcohol that reacts with PCl5, it forms halochloroalkane plus POCl3. So here X is POCl3. Plus HCl. And this compound chloropropane with alcoholic KOH and heat gives Y. So what is the purpose of alcoholic KOH? This alcoholic KOH acts as dehydrohalogenating agent. Dehydrohalogenation takes place. So from alpha carbon, halogen is eliminated, and from beta carbon hydrogen is eliminated. Then the compound Y is CH3 CH double bond CH2. So propene. And when this propene, it is treated with hydrogen bromide HBr in the presence of benzyl peroxide. So in the presence of benzyl peroxide means it is free radical addition reaction. Free radical addition follows anti-Markovnikov's rule. Free radical addition follows anti-Markovnikov's rule. So anti-Markovnikov's rule means the negative part of the reagent, it is attached to carbon with more number of hydrogens. So Br minus, it is attached to this first carbon with 2 hydrogens, and hydrogen it is attached to this second carbon. So the product Z may be, so when it is treated with HBr in the presence of peroxide, CH3, CH2, CH2Br. So 1 bromo propane. So the correct option is, in the first option, so 2 bromo propane is given. In the second option, 1 bromo propane. And in the third option, X is given as H3PO3, but actually X is PuCl3. And Z is 1 bromo propane. So correct option is second one. Next is 69. The correct order of increasing metallic character of sodium, beryllium, phosphorus, magnesium and silicon is. So metallic character in the periodic table, metallic character increases from top to bottom as the size of the atom increases and ionization potential decreases, metallic character increases. Electronegativity decreases, metallic character increases. So the first element is sodium. Sodium, it is present in first A group, sodium. And coming to beryllium, it is in second A group. And after beryllium, the below element is magnesium. And silicon is after magnesium aluminum, after aluminum silicon, it is in fourth group. Next, after silicon, phosphorus. Okay, na? So this is the position in the periodic table of these elements. So it is first group and it is second group, next fourth group and it is fifth group, present in fifth group. So from top to bottom metallic nature increases and from left to right metallic nature decreases. So among these 5 elements, which is more metallic means, so sodium is more metallic in nature. So sodium, it is more metallic. And next comes between beryllium and magnesium, magnesium is more metallic. After magnesium, then comes beryllium. And silicon, it is non-metal. Phosphorus, it is non-metal. So the least metallic element is phosphorus. Phosphorus is less than silicon, it is less than. Next comes beryllium. Beryllium is less than. Magnesium is less than sodium. So the correct order is, so third option, phosphorus is less than, silicon is less than, beryllium is less than, magnesium is less than sodium. Next is 72. Match list 1 with list 2. So again in the list 1, some organic compounds are given and in list 2, some reagents are given. And choose the correct answer from the option given below. So in list 1, the first compound is isopropyl benzene. The conversion is from isopropyl benzene to phenol. So which reagent helps for this conversion? So when isopropyl benzene, it is treated with O2, isopropyl benzene or cumene, it is also known as cumene. When it is treated with air or oxygen, so it is oxidized to cumene hydroperoxide, OH, CH3, CH3. And this cumene hydroperoxide on hydrolysis in the presence of acid, this is converted to phenol and byproduct is acetone. CH3, CO, CH3. So main product, our required product is phenol. So therefore, for A, the correct option is second one. And in the second statement B, the compound is acetic acid to ethyl alcohol. Acetic acid to alcohol, that is nothing but reduction process. So which reagent reduces acetic acid to ethyl alcohol? What are the correct reducing agents for the reduction of carboxylic acid to alcohol? So methanol in the presence of acid, or catalytic hydrogenation, or in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride, or diborane. So any of these reducing agents, they can reduce so carboxylic acid to alcohol. So for B, the correct reagent is third one. And coming to C, C is again alcohol. So it is a primary alcohol, and next product is secondary alcohol. So what are the reagents that are useful for the conversion of propyl alcohol to isopropyl alcohol? So when propyl alcohol, it is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. So the purpose of concentrated sulfuric acid and heat, it is a dehydration. So removal of water molecule from the alcohol. It is also known as alpha beta elimination. So from alpha carbon, OH minus it is eliminated, and from beta carbon, hydrogen is eliminated. So when we treat with concentrated sulfuric acid, the product is CH3, CH double bond, CH2, propene. Propene is formed. And when this propane, it is treated with so H plus and H2O, that means acid catalyzed hydration. When it is treated with water, when water is added in the presence of acid, so addition of water takes place according to Markovnikov's rule. Addition is, because it is an unsymmetrical alkene, addition takes place according to Markovnikov's rule. That means again the negative part of this reagent, that is attached to carbon with less number of hydrogens. So CH3, CHOH, and H plus it is attached to this carbon. So this product is according to Markovnikov's rule. So the correct reagent for this conversion is concentrated sulfuric acid followed by heating, and then the formed alkene that is treated with water in the presence of acid catalyst. And coming to D, so benzene to phenol. So benzene to phenol conversion. So when benzene it is treated with oleum, benzene is treated with oleum, highly concentrated sulfuric acid, fuming sulfuric acid, that is known as oleum, H2S2 plus SO3, H2S2O7, that is known as oleum. When it is treated with oleum, benzene first it is converted into benzene sulfonic acid. And this benzene sulfonic acid, on treating with base, it is converted into sodium phenoxide, then followed by hydrolysis in the presence of acid medium gives phenol. Acidification. On acidification, so sodium phenoxide, first it is converted into sodium phenoxide. Sodium phenoxide on acidification forms phenol. So the correct option is third option. So third option A 2, B 3, C 4 and D 1. Next 74. The pair of molecules that are metamers among the following is. So which compounds exhibit metamerism? Generally metamerism it is observed in organic molecules which contains bivalent functional groups. Bivalent functional groups means So keto group or ether linkase or esters, etc. So in case of alcohols, there is no metamerism because that is monovalent functional group. And in case of alkanes also there is no metamerism. Metamerism means same functional group and same molecular formula, but the alkyl groups that are attached to the same functional group, that must be different. So in the first example, so these two compounds are ethers only. So in the first compound, so on left side CH3 group is present, on right side propyl group is present. And in the second compound, on left side ethyl group, on right side also again ethyl group. Both are alkyl groups. And these two compounds, they are having same molecular formula, but they differ in the nature of alkyl groups that are attached to functional group, ether group. So therefore, these two are metamers. In the second option, OH group is present, it does not show metamerism, and alkanes they do not show metamerism. And coming to the fourth example, so one is ketone and other one is aldehyde. So to show metamerism, the main condition is same functional group must be present. Therefore, the correct option is first one. Correct option is first one. Next 76. Which one of the following is an ambidentate ligand? So what is meant by an ambidentate ligand? Ambidentate ligand is that ligand which has two donor atoms, two possible donor atoms, but at a time it can coordinate with only one donor atom. So such type of ligands, they are known as ambidentate ligands. Oxalate ligand, C2O4 2 minus, it is C2O4 2 minus, it is bidentate ligand, but it is not an ambidentate ligand. Ethane 1,2 diamine, it is also bidentate. So ethylene diamine and ethane 1,2 diamine. So ethane 1,2 diamine means CH2, CH2, NH2, again on left side one more NH2. So two donor atoms. So it is also bidentate ligand. And thiocyanate. So SCN minus. In this donor atom is sulfur. And NCS minus. Isothiocyanato. Thiocyanato ligand, isothiocyanato. In this nitrogen is donor atom. So there are two possible donor atoms in thiocyanate. But at a time it can coordinate with only one donor atom. So it is an ambidentate ligand. Ethylene diamine tetraestate ion, EDTA. So EDTA, it is hexadentate ligand, but it is not an ambidentate ligand. Therefore, correct option is third one. Next 77. The functional group that can be identified through Thalin dye test. So Thalin dye test, it is used for the identification of phenolic functional group, phenolic group. So when Thalin dye test means when phthalic anhydride, it is obtained by the dehydration of phthalic acid. So phthalic anhydride, when it is treated with phenol, 2 moles of phenol reacts with this phthalic anhydride and forms a compound. So this compound, 2 phenolic groups, they are attached to this carbon and O, C double bond O. Okay, now this compound, it is known as phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is an acid-base indicator. It shows one color in acidic medium and other color in basic medium. So when phenolphthalein, it is treated with base, NaOH. This phenolphthalein, it gives a pink color. It shows pink color in acid basic medium. Whereas in acidic medium, it is colorless. So in that way, we can identify this phenolphthalein. It is known as phthalene dye test. So acetic anhydride, phthalic anhydride that is treated with phenol. So we get phenolphthalein in the compound. When it is treated with base, it gives pink color. But in the presence of excess of base, so the pink color disappears. In that way, we can identify phenolic group. So correct option is fourth one. We are not able to identify carboxylic acid or aldehyde or alcohol by using phthalic dye test. Next, match list 1 with list 2. So in the list 1, again organic compounds are given, one inorganic compound ammonia is given, and list 2, the bonds are mentioned, sigma and pi bonds, as well as lone pairs also mentioned. So in the first list 1, the first molecule is ethylene, C2H4. Very simple question. Ethylene means, so C2H4. In this, there are total how many sigma bonds? Double bond means one sigma bond and one pi bond. Single bond means they are sigma bonds only. So total 5 sigma bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sigma bonds and 1 pi bond. And coming to C2H2, acetylene. So acetylene, it is triple bonded molecule, alkyne. So in this, 1 sigma bond, triple bond means 2 pi bonds, and it is sigma, sigma. So total in this 3 sigma bonds and 2 pi bonds. And coming to fourth one, methane, alkane. So all are sigma bonds only, 4 sigma bonds in NH3. So 3 sigma bonds and 1 lone pair is present on nitrogen. So the correct option is, so A, C2H4. How many sigma bonds? 5 sigma and 1 pi bond. So A4. Next B. So 3 sigma and how many sigma bonds in this? 3 sigma, 2 pi bonds. So B is 1, correct. C, CH4, 4 sigma bonds. C, 3. D, NH3, 3 sigma bonds, 1 lone pair. So D, 2. So correct option is first one. Next question, 81. The major product Z formed in the following sequence of reactions is. So it is multi-step reaction is given. So X, Y, Z and the major product Z. Z is asked. What is Z? So when ethane C2H6, when it is treated with chlorine in the presence of ultraviolet light. So it is example for again free radical substitution. Alkanes, they are they involve in free radical substitution. Mostly alkanes, they undergo substitution reactions. They are saturated compounds. So in the presence of chlorine and sunlight, so this undergoes free radical substitution and it forms only monochlorinated product that gives C2H5Cl. And this C2H5Cl, when it is treated with ammonia, means it is nucleophilic substitution. In the presence of Cl minus, NH3, the Cl minus it is replaced by NH2 minus. In NH3, what is the nucleophile? So NH2 minus and H plus. Nucleophile is NH2 minus. So Cl minus is replaced by NH2 minus. So Y is C2H5NH2, a primary amine. And when primary amine, it is treated with sodium nitrite and HCl or nitrous acid, followed by hydrolysis. So disonium, alkyl disonium salt is formed. So C2H5N2 plus Cl minus, but this alkyl disonium salt, it is highly unstable and in the presence of H2O, it is immediately converted into alcohol. C2H5OH plus N2 plus HCl. So the product Z is alcohol. Alkyl diazonium salts, they are highly unstable compared to aryl diazonium salts. Aryl diazonium salts, they are stable at ice cold temperature 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, but alkyl diazonium salts, they are highly unstable. So correct option for this is, so second option C2H5OH. Next 82. Although +3 oxidation state is most common in lanthanoids, cerium still shows +4 oxidation state because, although +3 oxidation in lanthanoids, +3 oxidation state is common oxidation state. But why cerium it is showing +4 oxidation state? Cerium also shows +4 oxidation state. Cerium is the first element in lanthanoid series. Cerium it is first element in lanthanoid series. Its atomic number is 58 and its electronic configuration. Electronic configuration is 4f1, 5d1, 6s2. So in +4 oxidation state means cerium. So the 2 s electrons, 1 d electron and 1 f electron, all 4 electrons are lost. So in +4 state, so cerium it is having 4f0 configuration, which is its nearest inert gas configuration, that is, so xenon 54, its nearest inert gas is xenon, so its configuration, so in +4 state its configuration is similar to xenon configuration, which is more stable configuration. So what is the correct option? After losing one more electron, it acquires 4f14 electronic configuration. That is wrong because it is getting 4f0 configuration. And second is, its nearest inert gas is radon. Its nearest inert gas is xenon but not radon. After losing one more electron, it acquires 4f0 electronic configuration. So this is the correct one. And its atomic number is 61. It is also wrong because its atomic number is 58. So correct option is third one. Next 83. Methane reacts with steam at 1273 Kelvin in the presence of nickel catalyst to form. So methane reacts with steam. Steam means water vapor, H2O, at a temperature of 1273 Kelvin and nickel catalyst. So this methane reacts with steam and forms carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas. Therefore, correct option is CO and H2, CO and H2O, CO2 and H2. So correct option is CO and H2, first one. Next 85. Phenolphthalein is used as an indicator for the titration of sodium hydroxide solution against a standard solution of oxalic acid. So NaOH versus oxalic acid means it is an acid-base reaction, acid-base titration. NaOH base, oxalic acid, acid. So in NaOH versus oxalic acid titration, NaOH versus oxalic acid. Oxalic acid titration. So this oxalic acid, it is taken in conical flask. Conical flask. And to this, phenolphthalein indicator is added. Oxalic acid plus phenolphthalein. And NaOH, it is taken in generally burette. So when phenolphthalein indicator, it is added to oxalic acid solution. So phenolphthalein, it is colorless in acidic medium. Slowly NaOH solution, it is run down from the burette. Then reaction starts between NaOH and oxalic acid. When all oxalic acid, it is neutralized by NaOH, the last drop of NaOH that then falls in the conical flask, that last drop of NaOH, it creates basic medium in the conical flask. So in the basic medium, so phenolphthalein, it appears pink in color. So the end point of this reaction is colorless to pale pink. Colorless to pale pink. In basic medium, phenolphthalein is in pink in color, whereas in acidic medium, it is colorless. So correct option is colorless to pink. Next, identify the incorrect statement from the following. The largest and the smallest species among magnesium Mg+2 Al and Al+3 are aluminum and Mg+2 respectively. So the largest and the smallest species. So always the cation, it is smaller than neutral atom, and anion is bigger than neutral atom. And between magnesium and aluminum, magnesium is second group element, aluminum it is third group element. So aluminum it is smaller in size than magnesium. Coming to neutral atoms, so aluminum it is smaller in size compared to magnesium. And coming to ions, so Al+3 and Mg+2, as charge on cation increases, the nuclear charge, effective nuclear charge increases. Therefore, Al+3 effective nuclear charge is more compared to Mg+2. So in Al+3, 13 protons and 10 electrons, whereas in Mg+2, so 12 protons and 10 electrons. These two are isoelectronic species. In case of isoelectronic species, as charge on cation increases, size decreases. So between these two, so cations are smaller in size compared to neutral atoms, and between these two ions again Al+3 that is smaller in size, whereas Mg is bigger in size. So among these four, the largest atom is, the largest in size is magnesium, and the smallest size is Al+3. In the first option, the largest and the smallest species among magnesium, Mg+2, Al and Al+3 are, so magnesium, so Al and Mg+2 respectively. So the largest atom from magnesium to aluminum. So from magnesium to aluminum, incorrect statement. We have to find out incorrect statement. So incorrect statement, aluminum it is not the largest atom, magnesium is the largest atom. So first one is incorrect statement. Next, 87. The following two reactions give the same foul-smelling product, Z. Foul-smelling compounds are generally isocyanides. Isocyanides are foul-smelling compounds. When ethyl chloride, it is treated with X, that gives Z. And C2H5CONH2 in the presence of Br2NaOH gives Y. Y on treating with chloroform ethanolic KOH gives Z. So same foul-smelling product. When ethyl chloride, it is treated with which reagent? It forms a foul-smelling compound. So AgCN, KCN, X given as. So AgCN with AgCN, alkyl halide forms isocyanide C2H5NC. With KCN it forms cyanide. It is example for nucleophilic substitution. So ethyl isocyanide. It is foul-smelling compound. Foul smell. And next, amide. It is an amide, primary amide. So primary amide, when both aliphatic and aromatic primary amides, they are treated with bromine and NaOH, that gives primary amine. So the amine formed, this contains one carbon atom less than that of amide. So in amide there are 3 carbon atoms, but in amine only 2 carbon atoms are present. So this reaction, it is Hoffman bromamide degradation reaction. And this primary amine, when treated with chloroform and alcoholic KOH, both aliphatic and aromatic primary amines, they give this carbylamine reaction or isocyanide test. So this ethylamine, again it is converted into C2H5NC isocyanide. So both Z, the Z product Z is foul smelling in both the reactions. So option is X equal to AgCN and Z is C2H5NC. So second option is correct one. Next 89. Match list 1 with list 2. In list 1, transition metal compound or complex. List 2, catalytic role. So vanadium pentoxide catalyst, it is used for the, already in first year chemical equilibrium it is covered. So Haber's process and preparation of sulfuric acid, it is from second year 6th year group sulfuric acid preparation. And polymerization of alkynes, it is also in polymers, alkynes, oxidation of ethyne to ethanol. So this is known as ethyne to ethanol, it is known as Walker process. So for which reaction V2O5 it is used as catalyst? So V2O5 it is used as catalyst for the preparation of sulfuric acid from sulfur dioxide. So during the conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, 2SO2 plus O2 gives rise to 2SO3. It is the key step in the manufacture of sulfuric acid in contact process. And during the conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, vanadium pentoxide catalyst is used. And iron catalyst. Iron catalyst, it is used in the manufacture of ammonia. So Haber's process, N2 gas plus hydrogen gas gives rise to ammonia gas. So here the catalyst is iron catalyst and a promoter is molybdenum. This is known as Haber's process. First one is contact process. And palladium chloride, PDCl2. This PDCl2, it is used as catalyst in the oxidation of ethyne to ethanol. So when acetylene, ethyne means acetylene, it is treated with oxygen, that acetylene undergoes oxidation in the presence of palladium chloride and in the presence of co-catalyst CuCl2, this ethyne it is oxidized to ethanol. So ethanol means, so CH3 CHO, acetaldehyde, ethanol. So ethyne is oxidized to ethanol. So that is known as Walker process. And nickel complex, it is used for the polymerization of alkynes. It is used as a catalyst for the polymerization of alkynes. So the matching, correct matching is, so A in the preparation of sulfuric acid, so A3, next iron, so B1, C4 and D, so polymerization of alkynes. So correct option is second one. Next 90. This is the last question. So two products X and Y are formed in the following reaction sequence. Benzene, it is treated with methyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. By seeing this this is main reagent and anhydrous AlCl3, it is used for the preparation of that electrophile in this reaction. So Lewis acid catalyst, and it is used for the generation of electrophile. So in this electrophile is CH3 plus and Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction. This reaction it is known as Friedel-Crafts alkylation. Benzene it is converted to methyl benzene, and methyl benzene on treating with dilute HNO3 and sulfuric acid. So two products are formed, X plus Y. So these are nitration. This is nitrating mixture. So in the presence of nitrating mixture, two products are formed. So one is minor product, ortho product, and the second one is major product, CH3, para position. In para position NO2 group it is attached. So to X plus Y, and the suitable method that can be used for the separation of products X and Y. So these two compounds, they have very close boiling points. So nearly so nitrotoluene, orthonitrotoluene, para-nitrotoluene. So nearly its boiling point, it is 22 degrees Celsius, whereas 222 Kelvin, not degrees Celsius, 222, only degrees Celsius only boiling point. Not degrees Celsius, Kelvin only, Kelvin. And nearly 238 Kelvin. So close boiling point difference. So when boiling point difference is less, then which method is used for the separation of these two compounds? Continuous extraction, differential extraction, sublimation, fractional distillation. So continuous extraction is one type of solvent extraction. So when the given organic compound, it is very less soluble in the given organic solvent, then continuous extraction method is used. That means large excess of organic solvent is used. That is known as continuous extraction. Differential extraction, it is also solvent extraction. Sublimation technique, it is used for the separation of solid volatile compounds from non-volatile impurities. So the compound, it is directly converted into vapor form. Whereas fractional distillation, it is used for the separation of two compounds which are having close boiling points. So these two compounds, because they are having close boiling points, so they are separated by using this fractional distillation technique. So fourth option is correct one. So this is few questions of chemistry 2000 NEET 2026 paper. So overall it is when compared to 2025, the chemistry paper, it is somewhat easy, but it is lengthy also. Some physical chemistry questions, they are lengthy. So overall it is a difficulty level, it is less compared to 2025, and it is more difficult when compared to 2024 paper. So thank you.